Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to the nightly live stream on Dano Crypto. On this channel, we show you guys how to make simple and effective and easy moves in the cryptocurrency ecosystems. We're going to be doing these 8:30 live streams, just doing a little recap of the markets and getting into the news Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 8:30. Welcome. So if you're just coming in or if you're new and you've never been to the channel, we also do live streams Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we've been doing them for about a 90-week streak now. So we've been going strong and we've been having a lot of fun doing it. So we're going to be talking about how Bitcoin and the stock market basically, no one cared about the government shutdown. So the S&P 500 rose to new record highs, reversing earlier losses as traders bet on short-lived shutdown. And we actually, in asking Grok, wanted to get the data on what happened during the actual day of a shutdown and the loom of a shutdown every single time it's happened in the past. And usually 3 to 12 months after the fact of said shutdown, the markets go up like an average of 35 to 40%. And then with Bitcoin, we had it the last shutdown, it rallied 150%. So I think no one was really buying that that we were going to have any type of major volatility to the downside. But Bitcoin really took off and started to push into this order block. It's kind of the exact level we were calling for Bitcoin. You can see here that we pumped out of this range where we started to get real tight. We did this inverse head and shoulders kind of pattern if you're looking at it on the 2 hour, or you can look at it on the 4 hour as well. But right here was where we were going to be seeing what happens, battling that resistance, and we actually turned that resistance into some pretty decent support. And if you see here, the Bollinger Bands are revealing where price was getting magnetized to, and you can see the next big order block where we had a big sell that brought us down to one of the lower lows here at 107 from August. So this was around the beginning of August, and we had a big sell right there. So this is what I'm curious to see, if we're going to have the Asian market opens basically push us through this order block, and then the next level is over 120. It would be a fresh new all-time high. I think we would be going into what I think would be a new all-time high at $126,000 per Bitcoin, and that also kind of coincides too with the with the Bollinger Bands here on the top. That would be a fresh new all-time high. So it's looking pretty good. So So yeah, the broad market index reached up to 0.2%, had to hit an all-time intraday high. Let's see, government shutdown attempts made by the Republican-controlled Senate to secure a temporary spending bill failed. And then that was on Tuesday. And so why did the crypto market pump today? And this is kind of everything that contributed to the leg up. So Bitcoin was trading at 117,000 as a press time, and then let's see. It was just crushing it now. Reported on October 1st, reclaiming the 114. So we closed a bullish monthly close for September. Let's see, macro tailwinds. The private payrolls fell by 32,000 in September, the biggest drop in roughly 2.5 years, just as the shutdown threatens to delay official labor data. With market data blind to key releases, traders leaned harder on proxies, nudging rate cut odds higher. I think So odds on poly market for a 25 basis point cut on interest rate this month surpassed 90%. Reuters flagged the weak automatic data processing report and growing reliance on private data, big government series. You know, all this, yeah, the Uptober narrative is looking pretty strong for the 1st of October. I just hope we don't get rugged, you know, because we're all getting really excited. We were making a joke about the fact that it's really funny how we were having to inverse Kramer. Anytime Kramer said anything, you know, bullish, or if Kramer was bullish, you would just inverse Kramer. If he was bearish, you would just inverse him. And because a lot of the times he was always wrong. And so it's funny how things turn out, because before it was inverse Kramer. Now Jim Cramer was right, because he on the 29th said buy crypto. He said buy crypto. And then the next day we had Ansem saying gut says 100K. And so then now it's inverse Ansem, because his gut was telling him it was 100K and he was apparently short. So I don't know what you guys think about that. Okay, so ETF demand, a supportive calendar, and light books are the catalysts that enable a modest macro surprise to travel further in price. What turns a pop into a path is still the same trio: the dollar, real yields, the duration of Washington's data blackout, and whether ETF demands persist once holiday thin liquidity fills back in. Because during the holidays, people are kind of like, I mean, we're spending money, but we're trying to get ready for, we're kind of getting ready for tax season. So we might kind of lead up into ultimately another sell-off, but I'm just curious where it could lead. So my assumptions have been the same, where I think Bitcoin is going to rally up to about 126,000. That'll be like a nice new fresh all-time high. And then I think the Fibonacci extension level looked like it was going to go around to 135, and then we had 157, I think, marked as one of the, I guess, the next stopping point, because it's been doing this staircase thing where, you know, we go up. If we're looking at, let's see, like a monthly, I think the monthly would show us a little bit better. You know, we go up pretty substantially in a few months, and then we have a couple months of consolidation. Then we have like 1, 2, 3, 3 to 4 months of some bullishness, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 months of, you know, consolidation. 1, 2, 3, 4. We had 4 green months, and then we just had one red month in August. And so then going into September, we had a really bullish close, green close in September. And then now we're already looking really bullish for starting our October here. So hopefully we all can get some tendies. We can all get some tendies here. Welcome, John. So we're just going to be streaming we're just going to stream until about 9 o'clock. So we're just going to go through just a little bit of the news. We had been talking about how the SEC plans to open doors for more crypto custody players in the US. So the no action letter addresses uncertainty about whether state trust companies qualify as banks under the acts for purpose of holding crypto assets and related cash. Under the new SEC government no action letter, investment advisors can use trust companies like Gemini as qualified custodians for crypto assets. So that's one thing. But then this is going towards what we've been talking about, how even Jerome Powell, I think he got asked the question during one of the interviews and one of the after one of the FOMC meetings, maybe. I can't remember exactly when it was, but he was asked the question, like, well, can banks like get involved with crypto? Is there any stipulation? And he said, yeah, I mean, there's really no I mean, yeah, he basically just was like, yeah, there's no reason why they can't. Everything is, yes, they can do it. And so I think that's what's going to be coming probably sooner than later, maybe even this year, because these super apps are starting to go crazy now. You know, we have Phantom just announced that they're doing, they have this cash, so you can have a cash balance inside the Phantom app. MoonPay already launched that a little while ago, and they have a cash balance inside the MoonPay app, and they have Moon tags. So like all these super apps are basically trying to get retail to use them as their bank and to be able to generate fees, generate revenue. And these banks are going to hop on board very, very fast. And so the SEC and the CFTC and everything like that's going to be, you know, governing crypto. And then also to kind of open the doors alongside the Clarity Act, the Genius Act, and all the legislative stuff that needs to go through with you know, crypto through the government. Yeah, it's looking pretty bullish. All right, so we had the crypto quant, the Grok quant break down some things for us, but it's about 30 minutes off, so we could just run it again. Can we run it again? All right, yeah, let's just run it again so we can get complete updated information. Well, while this is updating the task here, I want to show you guys a few things. First, we'll show you the stablecoin market cap for some of these chains, and then we can kind of get an idea of what to start looking at. We'll go top to bottom. So we'll start at like SUI. So we'll go like 15 down. So SUI, Bridge TVL 1.9 billion, and then we have Stables is at a $500 million. Op is a little over SUI at 656 million in Stables. Mantle has 732 million. We're starting to see Mantle as an option for decentralized perps network, and along with Base. And then you see TON is above that. Aptos, Avalanche at 1.7 for Stables. Polygon 2.9 billion in Stables. Arbitrum has, I think, some of the like if you're looking at in terms of active addresses, it's like got some of the most active addresses. So I like looking at that stuff. And then you can look at the perp volume, 24-hour perp volume. I told you guys that Apex, it was down here at like number 10 or something like that. So now it got up into number 7, and the volume increased substantially. As I was thinking, all of these is just going to start increasing because it's just it is the trend now. A lot of volume is starting to get on the decentralized perps. They're doing airdrops. There's a lot of incentives, and it's cool because we were already promoting Apex. We had a link, and you know we were interested in using it. We were already testing it out ourselves, so it's cool that we were already kind of geared and ready and using it. And now seeing that it is becoming one of the more popular ones, that's cool. So I think we're still really early because you see like Aster and Hyperliquid, they're in the billions, and then this one it was like at like 300 million not that long ago, just like 7 days ago. So it's up a lot. It's up substantially. And I think it's just going to continue to grow. And just to think, like, I mean, the whole total cryptocurrency market cap right now is at under 4 trillion still. And maybe it's just maybe now it's finally at 4 trillion. If we look at the total cryptocurrency market cap, yeah, now it's over 4 trillion. But that's so undervalued in terms of everything that's happening in crypto. It's only 4 trillion, and we've had companies like if we go on asset market cap, shout out to asset market cap. We have, you know, Microsoft is 3.8 trillion, Apple's 3.8, Nvidia is 4.5 trillion. So just one company right here is over the value of the entire cryptocurrency market. It's pretty crazy. And then think gold as as much as gold has been pumping, you think 26 trillion, and then silver too. Silver's gonna crank to $100 an ounce. That's doing really well. It's gonna mimic gold. But yeah, just like comparing all this other stuff, and then look at how much real estate takes over a lot of the value, and the real estate market and the housing market is just huge. And a lot of that is going to get sold off because a lot of the markets are going down. The market has to adjust. And so I wonder where a lot of that value is going to end up going. That value is going to end up going down the line. It'll first go into cash, because there's going to be these sales. So it's interesting. So it's like the housing market will take a hit, and it'll go into dollars. And then it's not going to stay in dollars for too long. I mean, it just depends on how it's going to get tied up, depending on how whatever's happening in the deal. Then mostly people are going to, I would think if they were smart, they would be then investing. So then they can, I don't know, maybe if they're going to try and get another house, or it does all depends. It's all situational. But I would think a lot, because I use the example of the Cardones. So the Cardones are heavy in real estate, and they offloaded a lot of their properties, and they're starting to sell a lot of their properties, and they're accepting crypto, and they're using a crypto protocol called props for real estate transactions in crypto. So it's just, so you think of that, then tie in the banks, then tie in the United States trying to be the crypto digital capital of the world. There's no reason to be bullish. And then to think that it is only valued at 4.5 trillion. That is crazy to think that. Okay, so... All right, so the crypto breakdown. October ignites BTC to soar to 119,000, baby. So, and alts are kicking off too. And so, as the ultimate crypto quant, and this is Grok speaking, my crypto Grok quant, I'm distilling real-time data from on-chain metrics, historical patterns, sentiment scans. This is not financial advice. So crypto is a blood sport. You got to do your own research and size positions at 1 to 2% risk, and never FOMO at highs. And so we're in October. Historically, October delivers about 20 to 25% median BTC gains since 2013, and it's referencing the Bitcoin monthly returns in October. So October has historically been a really green month. Out of all the months, it has the most green, and it just ties in probably a lot with the kind of some of the seasonal nature of investing and where it's at in the market, because then it's like that's kind of go time. It's like, October, November, it's like that's go time, and then December, it's like that's like the last push, and then you have to be like figuring out what you're going to do. You're selling, you're figuring out your taxes, Christmas, all that stuff. You gotta figure it out. So it's almost like the lead up to Christmas. That's like the peak, and then there's just a natural lull and sell to adjust for going into the new year and for going into the next quarter. So that's what that's referencing there. Let's see. Flipping September chop in quarter 4 fire. Total market cap just hit over 4 trillion. BTC dominance at 58%. So it's kind of stable, but the alt rotation is brewing. Volume is spiking to 198 billion. Fear and greed is neutral, 65. And so a lot of different ETF approvals are coming down the line. Right now, the main ones that have actually been officially approved is recently was Doge, and we had a major Solana ETF as well, and that was a little earlier. But then it was Solana and Doge. So those are big ones. So right now, in terms of major ETFs that are listed on Fireside, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Dogecoin, and pretty soon the ones that are that are buzzing is XRP and Litecoin. There's one for AVAX. There's also, I believe there might be one for Chainlink, and there's a few others that it's like some of your blue chips that you would recognize. So those are the ones that we're kind of waiting on. We're kind of seeing what's going to happen with that. It would be cool if they would offer a basket ETF that has just think about it like the top 10. You just like, I think Coinbase does offer something like that. They do. It's like the Coinbase 20. I think there might be one that you can actually. Let's see. It's right here. It's on SoValue. I think I remember seeing it. If you go to SoValue, go to markets, and you can go to ETF, and it's like the Coinbase 20. I'll find it later. I remember seeing it on here. I can't remember exactly what it's called. All right, so it's we want to look at Bitcoin and Ethereum. We want to watch what it's doing. We want to watch Sol. Target is $221. 3 to 5x potential to 250, 300. That's where we've had a lot of resistance. We basically had a big Binance sell wall right there. They needed Solana to go down and basically get killed, so then Binance could take over, get the all-time high. It had a lot of attention on Binance, so then Aster can come in and also take over a little bit of the market share. They don't play nice in crypto, It's PvP 100%. XRP $2.92 on institutional buzz. Targets $3.10, the upper Bollinger Band. We could look at that real quick. Look at that upper Bollinger Band on XRP. Are you XRP fans out there? We can find the chart. Yeah, it's sitting at $2.94 right now. Had a nice little pump on there. Nice little candle right there. 45-minute candle. So this is the level that we were actually marked here. We had that bearish case scenario marked. We're looking for it to create a shoulder here, kind of like here. We have this kind of like an inverse head and shoulders. Been kind of seeing that a lot. We see it here, we see it, and then that's gonna. Who knows how much it'll dip down? I don't even know if you would even consider that an inverse head and shoulders. But really, it doesn't matter. You just look at the upper, like it's talking about the upper Bollinger Band, and that's where the sell wall is. That was that previous resistance right here. And so if you break that, like our target for XRP was actually a little bit higher. It was like at was like $3.37 actually. So that would be a pretty decent trade, because it'd be a nice stable 14%. It'd be a nice 14%. That'd be one of the altcoin runners. We start getting a nice little rotation. So yeah, I'd watch out. Actually, I would watch out for XRP. It looks pretty good. And then the alt wild cards is let's see, Zashi upgrade. Let's see, ZEC Eden, Treasury Distro hype. Then we have Aster, Mantle, and Apex. Aster's 225 billion DEX volume, buyback, supply shock potential. Watch for 8% flag breakout on MNT. Quant note. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's about it. Bear watch regulatory roundtables. That's already done. All right, cool. All right, ticker Bitcoin's up 6%. That's looking good. Hope the devs are doing well in Singapore. Nakamoto up 3%. Litecoin up 2.6%. If Litecoin is getting pumping, you know altcoins are ready to go. They're ready to go. Want to see the Coinbase chart. Yeah, we're so close to getting to that 120,000. We're right there. We basically just like wicked right to the bottom of the order block. You can see we wicked right to the order block, and it's 9 o'clock. So we have to see how the Asian markets are going to open and if they're going to pump this thing and bust it through this order block. We've seen this happen before. That's why we're always curious and why sometimes we like to stream at 8:30. We streamed about till 9. We can kind of start seeing the pre-market activity of where we start to see between 9:30 and 10 o'clock. And that's when you start to see some really interesting action happen. And you start to see a little spike of volume. And then that's where you get that volatility. And it's fun to watch, especially if it's something like this where you see a big order block. That was where we had previous resistance in the beginning of August. And it'd be nice to see that just go, because when we break through it, it disappears, and then we're on to the next, market structure. But all right, my friends, I think that's about it. It's all we wanted to really cover for tonight. Remember, you're super massively early to crypto still. It's only $4 trillion, the entire everything of crypto. We're super, super early. And yeah, that's about it. Yep, that's all we wanted to show you. Just wanted to double check and make sure there wasn't any sneaky stuff we wanted to show you. Oh yeah, Shibatoshi Nakamoto said the government should shut down more often. That was a nice move. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And then we mentioned how Nvidia is $4.5 trillion. That's more than Meta and Amazon combined. So I'm very, very bullish on a like $30 trillion value of crypto. So that means if you're willing to hold long enough for when the entire cryptocurrency market cap is at, $7-10 trillion, just imagine what your bag will look like. I'm very curious to see. We just have to not have the goldfish brains and maybe do a little bit less. All right, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Peace out.
This token is the end game. It's the shitcoin of shitcoin. I mean, imagine telling your coworker you're quitting because Harry Potter Obama Sonic 10 and you coin. Boom! Imagine the media reporting on Harry Potter Obama Sonic 10 and you. Ticker is Bitcoin, breaking 1 billion market cap. Now, unless you hate money, go ahead and visit
HPOSNI.com.